community. Introducing the E-Ride Taxi, an electric taxi service, bringing you a cleaner, greener way to travel around our beautiful city. As part of the transformative Belize City E-Ride program,
Welcome to Plus News for Wednesday, September 24th. I am LJ Wade. A Punta Gorda neighborhood was shaken early this morning after a couple was shot while sleeping in their home. The victims, Joel Carr and Kayla Gonzalez, sustained gunshot wounds after an unknown assailant opened fire on their residence. The gunman in question targeted the bedroom window of the couple's home, firing multiple rounds as Carr and Gonzalez slept. The bullets struck both individuals, causing injuries that, while serious, were not life-threatening. Both Carr and Gonzalez are recovering, and police are investigating this latest shooting. Today, the Statistical Institute of Belize held its quarterly press conference in Belize City to report on the latest economic indicator findings. Today's press conference focused on the Consumer Confidence Index, the Consumer Price Index, exports, and inflation. The Consumer Price Index is often used to calculate inflation and determine if the cost of goods and services registered any increase during a period of time. According to the Statistical Institute of Belize, for the first 8 months of 2025, the cost of goods and services were up by 1.3% when compared to the same period last year, and the driving factors were food, housing, electricity, and gas.
The top 3 categories were food and non-alcoholic beverages, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and personal care, social protection, and miscellaneous goods and services, which together contributed to almost 90% of the total year-to-date increase in consumer prices. Let's look at the food and non-alcoholic beverage category, with prices increasing by 2.3%. This was mainly due to an increase in prices for cereal products, fruits and nuts, meats, fruits and vegetable juices, purified water, and soft drinks. Prices increasing for rent, which went up by 2.3%, and LPG, which went up by 8.1%.
Due to the cost of living registering an increase in almost every municipality across Belize, consumers spent less. The SIB used their Consumer Confidence Index to determine if households were more optimistic or pessimistic regarding the state of the country's economy. To measure the CCI, the Statistical Institute of Belize looked at 3 things: changes in consumer sentiment with respect to general economic conditions and the household financial situation compared to the last 12 months, how consumers feel about the general economic conditions and their household financial situation over the next 12 months, and how much major purchases were done. For August, the CCI stood at 46.8, meaning that consumers are pessimistic, spending less, and saving more.
The Consumer Confidence Index for the month of August 2025 stood at 46.8. This presents an increase of 2.9% from July 2025, when the index stood at 45.5. The most significant improvement of the CCI was seen in the present subcomponent, which increased by 4.3% from 42.6 in July to 44.5 in August, meaning that consumers were less pessimistic when it came to their household financial situation and general economic conditions in the present looking back 12 months. This was followed by the expectations component, which increased by a 1.2% from 54.6 in July to 55.3 in August, and durable goods increasing by 3.5% from 39.2 in July to 40.5 in August of 2025. Despite short-term improvements in March, July, and August, the national consumer confidence generally trended downward since the beginning of this year. This can also be interpreted as an early indicator of economic activity for the year of 2025. The average year-to-date consumer confidence index for 2025 stood at 47.4, with the present component at 45.6, the expectations at 56, and the durable goods at 40.4. The data suggests that consumers are feeling generally pessimistic. This typically implies a greater tendency to save rather to spend, which could signal weaker consumer economic growth for the year.
The SIB also presented the country's GDP. According to Jacqueline Sabal of the Statistical Institute of Belize, 2024 saw a 3.5% increase when compared to 2023.
For the year 2024, goods and services produced totaled $5.257 billion. This was an increase of $178 million or 3.5% when compared to 2023. Throughout the year, all three sectors recorded notable growth. The primary sector grew by 2.8%, mainly due to recovery from unfavorable weather conditions experienced in the previous year. The secondary sector was up by 3.3% due to improved performance across all secondary sector industries, coupled with the introduction of a local cement producing factory. While the tertiary sector reported the most significant growth of 4.6%, and this was the result of increases mainly in accommodation and food services. We saw growth in arts, entertainment, and recreation services, and then also in transport services. On the other hand, taxes on products declined by a marginal 0.7%. It is important to note that the annual GDP growth rate for 2024 of 3.5% differs from the estimated 8% derived from the quarterly GDP figures. This discrepancy is due to the fact that the annual GDP is based on a more comprehensive data set. Quarterly estimates are intended to provide a snapshot of economic activity during a specific point in time. However, these estimates do not have as comprehensive data set than the annual does.
2025 also seems to be on the right track when it comes to GDP growth, as according to the statistics from the SIB, 2025's second quarter GDP is up by 0.8% when compared to 2024's second quarter. This increase is driven by the primary sector, which was up by 10.9%.
Growth in the second quarter was driven by the primary sector, which was up by 10.9%. We also observed increase in production across all of the country's major agricultural products in the primary. Subsequently, we saw growth in the secondary by 6.8%, along with the tertiary by 1.4%. The secondary sector grew by 0.8%. Goods and services produced in the second quarter totaled $1.375 billion, an increase of $10.7 million or 0.8% when compared to the second quarter of 2024. For the second quarter months of April to June 2025, goods produced in the primary sector were valued at $126.1 million. This was an increase of $12.4 million or 10.9% from the same period in 2024. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing increased by 14%. We also saw growth in mining. We also saw a decrease in mining by 11.5%. Within agriculture, sugarcane deliveries were up by nearly 20%, from 739.2 to 881.7 thousand metric tons, as harvests were delayed due to the fungal disease Fusarium during the first quarter. This contributed to higher volumes in the second quarter.
We'll take our first break and be right back with more news. Stay tuned.
And I'm a Christian boy. Oh lad, oh lad. Nothing wrong with dancing. Part of our culture. No ways rotating, no. Don't let the devil tempt you. Christian from the Caribbean and music is a part of our life. Yeah, we dance and raise flag, but we represent Jesus Christ. No more party, no. No more drinking, no. Cause Jesus saved me, but me dance when the gospel hit me. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance to Jesus. Let me dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, dance to Jesus. Oh yeah, yeah.
On July 10th, 2025, Belize Electricity Limited and Blair Atoll Power Company Limited signed a historic power purchase agreement for the development of a 15-megawatt utility-scale solar plant complete with a 1.5 megawatt, 3 megawatt-hour battery storage system. This project represents a significant milestone in building a cleaner, more sustainable, and resilient electricity grid.
Today's signing is the furthest we've ever come down the road of realizing the needed facilities and our own ambitions for harnessing the power of the sun. This PPA provides a model in which everybody, BEL, Babcock, and consumers win, and that is how it should be. We have every confidence that Babcock can and will bring this project home, and BEL publicly offers whatever support it can to realize this goal.
What we learn here will set the foundation for future projects, including solar, wind, hybrid systems, and even other emerging developing technologies, renewable energy technologies, that Belize will need if we are going to remain competitive and resilient.
BEL and Babcock will collaborate closely to develop and commission the plant within 12 to 18 months from the start of construction. Once operational, the solar plant will supply clean, renewable energy directly to the national grid, strengthening Belize's energy security and diversifying our national energy mix.
Tonight, as we publicly acknowledge the contribution of fellow citizens to building and strengthening the country that we live in, let us take a moment to ponder what that means. They have shown that love of country isn't something done once a year. It is something practiced every day and consistently demonstrated in the little things they do to build strong communities, to protect the vulnerable, to protect the environment, and in so doing, nurture Belize to be the best in all her glorious diversity. These patriots had busy lives, had regular jobs and families, and yet they still chose to contribute outside of those full responsibilities, to give more, to be more. I thank these individuals for their dedication to our country.
The CB100 is efficient, durable, and has enhanced smart power. Being a Honda, of course, it's reliable and fuel efficient. Get around town with no worries because you get up to 100 miles to the gallon. And it's priced at an unbeatable $2,700. Honda CB100, available at Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
From the Caribbean, and I'm a Christian boy. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Nothing wrong with dancing, but our culture. No ways rotating, no. Don't let the devil tempt you. Christian from the Caribbean, and music is a part of our life. Yeah, we dance and raise flag, but we represent Jesus Christ. No more partying, no. No more drinking, no. Cause Jesus saved me, but me dance when the gospel hit me. Caribbean Christian, and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian, and dancing in my blood, my blood. Caribbean Christian, and dancing in my blood. Caribbean Christian, and dancing in my blood, my blood. Don't hold me, let me dance. Don't hold me, let me dance. Oh yeah, let me dance with Jesus. Let me dance with Jesus. Oh yeah, dance with Jesus. Oh yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to Plus News. I am LJ Wade. The Constitution of Foreign Affairs Committee held its third and final public consultation regarding the proposed 13th Amendment, which includes provisions related to the state of emergency and creating special designated areas for increased security measures. Presentations were made by various government ministries and departments during these consultations, including the AG's ministry, the Ministry of Home Affairs, and its Leadership Intervention Unit department. The consultations began in Belize City, continued in Belmopan, and today they were held in Dangriga. Minister of Constitutional and Political Reform, the Honorable Henry Charles Usher, explained more.
The 13th Amendment is looking at the areas of the Constitution dealing with the state of emergency and creating what is called a special designated area. As explained by the AG's representative, it has a number of different areas that the drafters are looking at so that we can improve the legislative framework, improve the safeguards when it comes to these designations of the special designated areas. It also includes a section dealing with a gun and a gun court and a gun court, and certainly it's looking at improving the regulations to put in place more safeguards when it comes to these designations.
During today's session, Acting Commissioner of Police Bart Jones gave assurances that the police department's role and responsibilities under the amendment will be carried out intelligently.
Well, as we have been saying that from the police department's perspective, the amendment, we support the amendment, but caution the public that it will not be used as any draconian measure on our part or dragnet on our part in terms of detention of citizens, but on intelligence basis, if an area is to be declared, it will be based on intelligence that we would have to satisfy the National Security Council that there's a need for these special areas for a particular area of the country. So it will not be something that for us to use willy-nilly, but in extreme circumstances. Our other initiatives, community policing, our work with the LIU, and our enforcement will continue as it has been.
Following the conclusion of these public consultations, the House Committee is expected to meet to review and discuss the recommendations and concerns that were raised. Today, NGOs, government officials, and ministry officials from Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico all met to have a tri-national roundtable discussion on sustainable livestock practices in the Selva Maya area. Through this discussion, the three countries will put together a particular framework where they can sit down and follow a plan to ensure sustainable livestock practices in the region in hopes of mitigating deforestation. After this morning's roundtable discussion, we caught up with Chief Agricultural Officer Victoriano Pascal, who told us more about the initiative.
Through this dialogue, we expect that we can get a framework together where each country will be able to follow this particular framework. Now we also know that funding is a major problem. So if we can pool our resources together, both Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico, we expect that through this type of dialogue, then we can maximize the use of resources, and hopefully in the future we can have better management of this area. Livestock is very important for small producers in Belize, Mexico, and Guatemala, but they are also blamed for the deforestation and the malpractice and mismanagement of the forest. We expect that through this dialogue we can have better forest management, better climate smart agriculture practices, silvopastoral system, and the goal generally is to have better market as well, because you just can't be producing and putting all these things in place without market. So market will also be one of the discussion today as well. We're finally here. It's a big step forward, and hopefully this yield the result that we're looking for, because the plan and looking at livestock, it is not something that is done overnight. So we need to plan properly, look at funding, see where these resources will come from, how we can pool the resources, and have a better management of our forest system.
The IDB was also present at this morning's event, speaking about the role they are playing in the sustainable management of the livestock sector.
For this week, we are discussing with people from these three countries in regards actions that we could implement to promote sustainable management in the livestock sector in this region. As an IDB, this is, again, an important topic where we see that there is an opportunity to support the conservation of biodiversity and natural capital.
Since December of last year, the country of Belize has been fighting the spread of New World screwworms across the nation. The last time we spoke with the Minister of Agriculture, he stated that each district has now recorded a case of the New World screwworm. Recently, a number of cases popped up near Mexico's border with the U.S. Does that pose a threat for Belize? Here is what the Chief Agriculture Officer had to say.
It has been found not too far from U.S. in Mexico. It has always been a concern for us as a ministry, but we try to keep the dialogue with Mexico, and we have reports that we send to them. Baja send them reports every 2 weeks or every week, I think, where they monitor the transparency of our screwworm cases. So once we open that, we keep that transparency and dialogue. We haven't received any indication that they will not be taking our cattle. So at least for now, we're good.
One of the main ways to combat the spread of the New World screwworm is through the disbursement of sterile flies. Each country that has contracted screwworms in Central and Latin America, except for Belize, has received the sterile flies. So, what's the holdup? Chief Agric Officer Victoriano Pascual says that he's hopeful that Belize will soon be added to the list of receiving the flies.
We are waiting patiently to have sterile fly in the country. Our minister has been asking for some time now for them to provide sterile flies to us. That should help in the control of the screwworm. But again, it has been disseminated in Mexico, and we're hoping that we will be in the agenda very soon. The last discussion we had with Orissa, Orisa have informed us that they are contemplating to get sterile flies in Belize. So we're keeping our finger crossed, and hopefully we can get it sooner rather than later.
We'll take our final break and be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Like listen to me, Jamie.
Not only that, I even get a new coffee mug where keep my coffee hot all day.
I'm impressed. You don't look like you're so hard here.
Better than that, BL can change my meter to one of their new smart meter. They call it the AMI.
Oh, I hear about it on TV for BL ad, you know.
Yes, man. It don't reach the money better to change it right now. Let's go check it out.
Hey guys, I'm almost done here.
So now when you reach my area?
We're upgrading meters across Belize. House by house, business by business. Always look out for BL logo, uniforms, and IDs. BL will make you know when we're in the area. The EMI meter rollout is a part of BL strategy to modernize our energy services.
You don't need to come in at my house, right?
Come in at your house, boss, only if you got something good for you.
BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
From power tools to plumbing supplies, paints to light fixtures, at Benny's Kayo, we've got it all. Our extensive range of construction and household products ensures that you'll find exactly what you need, whether you're a seasoned contractor or a weekend do-it-yourselfer. Visit us at Mile 43 George Price Highway, Cotton Tree Village, just outside Belmopan, and discover the convenience, quality, and affordability that set us apart. Your next project starts here. Benny's, quality and savings.
Welcome back. On Monday, the Prime Minister, John Briceño, departed from Belize to represent the nation at the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. During this session, the Prime Minister is expected to take part in high-level discussions with fellow world leaders, emphasizing Belize's priorities in areas such as climate change, sustainable development, and international cooperation. In his absence, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Natural Resources, Cordell Hyde, will serve as the acting Prime Minister until he returns on Saturday, September 27th. Over the weekend, Leotine Gillett, a former teacher, celebrated her 100th year of life on September 21st. Despite her age, the centurion is still full of life, able to think and speak meaningfully, and is still on the lookout for handsome young men, as she puts it. To learn more about this centurion, a colleague spoke to Thelita Sebastian Cadle, the coordinator of YWCA Seniors Group, which Leotine is a part of.
Leotine Lewis Gillett, she is one of our past Miss Y, and she's in our seniors group, and she turned 100 on September 21st. So we're going to honor her this coming Saturday with a high tea party right here at the Y to celebrate her 100th birthday. Since she was Miss Y, she had worked with the Y in our early school leavers program, and she was a teacher, and she is still a part of our seniors group. Miss Leotine served as an example to the other ladies in the group because she is here whether it rains or not. She is here all the time and on time. That she's loved and she's cherished by all. The senior group meets every Wednesday here from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, and so this is our day here to honor her as a group. On Saturday, we'll honor her as a wider body.
We also heard from the lady herself, who spoke a bit about her life story and the secret to living to see 100 years.
And beautiful at 100 years old, and still looking for some handsome guy out there. They admire me and admire my outlook in life, and therefore I feel the same way towards them. So, towards people in general, well, at 100 years young, I've been there, done that. My secret is loving people in general, especially young people. As a school teacher, you know, for 25 plus years, I've been around and been throughout from the Rio Hondo to the South, and I've been in other countries, especially Canada and India, and in different continents. And meeting people of different ages and different stages. I really enjoy people in general.
And that's the news. Thank you for joining us from all of us here at Plus News. Have a good night and God bless.